This podcast is brought to you in part by Russell Lands, Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, Dr. Thomas Dudney, and the Green Monster Fishing Light. Now, back to Bubba on the Lake.
Hey, it's Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. Yeah, he's got it going on. Gotta come and check this. Talking people, talking places from Bubba's perspective. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba on the lake. Hey, Bubba, yeah, Bubba on the lake. Let's go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Bubba on the Lake. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and now your host of Bubba on the Lake. We're in the Mellow Yellow studio, and our website is bubbaonthelake.com. Keep those cards and letters coming. Emails are welcomed at bubba@bubbaonthelake.com, and don't forget our comment line, 308-BIG-LAKE. That way you can leave your comments. Sometimes they make them to air. Sometimes they do not, but they're always listened to. I want to remind you to subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. We want you to always be in the know here on the show. We've got a great show today, and it's there's a few complications to it, and I'll explain that. But Cole Cubelic from ESPN is going to be on the program. He's also does the morning show on JOX 94.5 in Birmingham. Known Cole a long time, and he was very gracious to come on and talk a little bit about what's been going on with him. We'll get you an update from the Orlando Hamcation. That is the big ham radio fest where hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hams come and do what hams do. Instead of calling it a ham fest, they call it Hamcation, and they want you to come and spend a week and hit the theme parks and all that. Although the name Hamcation sort of sounds like you're breaking one of the 10 Commandments. I don't know. It's kind of got that sound to it. Thou shalt not Hamcation. And it's always been in my mind. But anyway, I get on a tangent there. Robbie Spur will also be with us. We interviewed him. He is the CEO, managing partner of Gigaparts in Huntsville, Alabama. They were there. They have a big display. And I had grand plans to do all kind of interviews with various vendors, but they all were so busy, they didn't have time to talk. So I grabbed Robby for a minute. I wanted to do some more, but I just could not get it done. I mean, it was busy. And if the Hamfest was any indication of the economy, it's going gangbusters. So some of those interviews with some people that I wanted to get on, we may have to do them and sprinkle them in a little bit later. Now, part of the tragedy of this podcast is that I did an opening segment. It was about 14 minutes long. It was informative. It was comical, because I tried to tell a story that had the word anaphylactic shock in it. Now, you know what anaphylactic shock is. That's where you swell up, your throat closes up, you have a severe allergic reaction, and you can die from anaphylactic shock. Well, I was able to say anaphylactic shock like one time, and then I got so I could not say it. And I could not say it to save my life. And these goofballs in here were laughing, which made it worse. And nobody's going to help you out. I mean, if you're hung up on a word, they are going to let you blow in the wind before they will help you out. And that was the case. So I tried to say anaphylactic shock about 12 times. And every time I tried to say it, it got worse. And I was laughing, which even made it worse. So I hate that great bit of self-inflicted humor has been lost. We don't know what happened. The file was there. It was the right length, but the audio just cut off. So it was somehow got corrupted. I don't know. No way to recapture that. And quite frankly, it may be God's way of preventing that segment from getting out because I look like an idiot. I did the segment early in the morning, and I wasn't fully awake yet, and it sounded like I may have been drunk on the podcast. So we didn't want that. And maybe it's just good that it got lost and is gone. But we're going to try to recap what we were telling in this. And, of course, we've got all kinds of things coming up. But I was out having lunch one day, not too long ago, and we were at, I'll tell you, we were at a place called Honey's Cafe in Lineville, Alabama. And it is a very famous meat and three there. And Thursdays they have fried chicken livers, which I love. Don't eat them all the time. Quite frankly, don't need to eat them all the time. But I do love them, and we were there on Thursday for chicken livers, okay? Because the place that I used to get them went out of business. And I haven't found a local place that will serve fried chicken livers since then. So I'm in there, and this very nice lady comes over, introduces herself, and says, "You saved my husband's life." Well, you know, it's not often that a guy that was a DJ, and I use a term loosely, gets credited with saving someone's life. So, of course, I had to hear more of the story. Well, she said that her husband went to the emergency room and was having a severe allergic reaction. His throat was closing up, anaphylactic shock. I've been practicing since the debacle of that. And they couldn't figure out what it was. And I mean, he's getting in a real bad way. They're about to have to do like a trach on him or something. And she screams out, "Hey, it might be alpha gal." And if you remember, alpha gal is the protein that comes from a tick bite, most notably the long star tick. And how does it get that name? It's a black tick with what appears to be a map of the state of Texas on its back in white. So it is known as the long star tick. And it is also very proficient in passing along alpha gal. Now, this disease, this reaction, didn't even have a name for a long time. I learned it from Richard Shin, or I like to call Big Richard Shin. He played at the University of Alabama, won 2 national championships. And I saw him one day eating a salad when he used to eat like a side of beef. And he told me that he had had this terrible reaction to beef, don't know what caused it. He was being studied. He was sending vials of blood to drug companies trying to figure out what had caused this violent reaction. Well, they found out it was a reaction to a tick bite, the long star tick. And eventually it was given the name alpha gal. Okay, alpha gal. And what it is, that saliva or that venom or whatever you want to call it from the tick, when it gets into your bloodstream, the molecule is very similar to red meat. So when your body attacks that foreign invader in its body and builds up resistance to it, the next time you eat red meat, it thinks it's attacking it again, and it brings this overwhelming response, which turns out to, be this severe reaction. So she had credited us because we had Richard Shin on a podcast, and he had talked about the fact that he had got alpha gal and how it got it and, all this. And turns out that this lady's husband, very nice couple, had been hunting in Kentucky, and he had got a tick on him. So she is shouting in the emergency room, "Check him for alpha gal, Rick and Bubba said to." And so it was kind of comical. I mean, it's a serious thing, don't get me wrong, but it was comical that she was quoting to them what to try, and it came from the podcast we did. So thus her crediting us with saving his life. Sure enough, they tested him, and he did have a reaction to alpha gal. He's been going through a treatment program now to try to alleviate that. And he actually got better. Then he had a little bit of a relapse, they said, but they think over time he'll be fine. So he just has to be very careful what he takes and keep, one of those EpiPens with him. And that's kind of how you have to treat that. I don't like ticks at all. In the woods, snakes and ticks are the big thing you got to look out for. I don't like either one of them, but I don't like snakes at all. I don't like the way they move. They kind of give me the heaves. And the fact that God took their legs away is always a big, big sticking point with me. You know, our loving, fair creator God that loves us enough to die on a cross took the legs of the snake away. Now that's why they crawl on the ground. Let me tell you, that's a bad card to draw. Okay, God took your legs away. That's just a bad card, and I don't like them. But I'll be honest with you, I'm almost more afraid of ticks now than I am of snakes, just because of the alpha gal thing. Because if you tell me I can't have meat, wow, we got a problem. I mean, EpiPen level. But it was fun, and they were a very, very, very nice couple, and I appreciate them sharing that with us. And I wanted to mention it again because summer's coming up, and you can do things to help keep ticks off of you. Most notably, wear a hat that's light colored, wear a shirt that's light colored. That way, if you get one on, you can see it before it digs in. I always tuck my pants legs into my boot. Granted, not a big fashion statement, but it will keep ticks that get on your shoes and boots from crawling up your leg. So, and there's also other sprays and things that, you can put on there with DEET. Some of them controversial, but they will keep ticks away from you. And if you're going to be out anytime soon, you need to be aware of that. Probably not the best transition here, but I think you needed to know that. Okay. The Russell Forest Run 10K and 5K is coming up, and we don't want anybody getting a tick on them that's in this. Okay, so that's why we've had this public service announcement about alpha gal and ticks and anaphylactic shock, because I am nailing it today. 17 years ago, the Russell Forest Run was started, and it was all to help Alexander City Schools and their education foundation, the ACSEF. Now, they have to date given more than $152,000 to that foundation, all from this run. So that run is coming up February the 28th. The 10K will start at 7:45, the 5K at 7:55. And it will all end in the barn, or what's called the stables. And they will have a post-race party. And let me tell you, the Russell people know how to throw a post-race party as well as anybody I've ever seen. And they will have their world-famous grits bar. So you had me at grits. I'm probably not going to run in this, but I sure would like to be there. And I don't know, maybe they'll let me start it, or at least I could start the grits. Registration is now open. You can go online, russellforestrun.com. Russell, 2 L's, forestrun.com. And also keep an eye on their Facebook page, Russell Forest Run. That's Saturday, February the 28th. People come from everywhere, counties away, states away. This is a really big event. So if you want to come out and be a part of that, it'll be a lot of fun, and Russell does it up right. They really do. Okay, busy show. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, and we'll be back, and we're going to talk with Cole Cubelic from ESPN, JOX 94.5 in Birmingham. We'll have an update from Orlando. Robbie Spur will be with us, and or Spur. I always say Spear. It's Robbie Spur. And we will have some more goodies also. Thank you for being a part of Bubba on the Lake.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll be right back.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Since 1965, Bice Motors has been Lake Martin area's home for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram sales and service. For 60 years, families have trusted Bice Motors in Alexander City for honest deals, friendly service, and the best selection around. Our team of certified technicians services most all makes and models. Plus, we've got a tire center, parts department, and a full collision center to keep you rolling. Bice Motors, your hometown Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer since 1965. In Alex City or online at bicemotors.com.
Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or guaranteedlabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Dr. Dudney has been my dentist for about 20 years. He does a great job taking care of my teeth, making sure my cavities are good, cleaning my teeth, and also adding veneers to my smile, which was a game changer. Now, Dr. Dudney and his friendly staff can do the same for you. I ask you to give them a chance. Just talk to them, no cost. Just make an appointment, see what you need, see if you can have a better smile and feel better about yourself today. Give them a call at 205-663-6545 or tedudney.com. We're back, and we have a very special guest on the line, Cole Cubelic from ESPN JOX 94.5 in Birmingham. Cole, how are you doing, brother?
Bubba, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It is a beautiful spring day here, and after the temperatures we had last week, it is a pleasant change.
I don't think there's any doubt. It's been a little too chilly, especially with baseball practice for the kids starting up, being outside. But, yeah, it looks like today's the first day it's felt like spring in a minute.
Well, Cole, I don't even know where to start with you. You've blown up. You're doing so many things in so many places. I know you and your co-host, Greg McElroy, just got an award for your sports show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Barrett Sports Media, they do their top sports shows from all the different demographics every year. So we've been fortunate enough to win Best Mid-Major Market Morning Show the last couple of years, and it's always an honor to be recognized. I try not to pay too close attention to things like that because, obviously you don't. I always want to try to get better. I always think I can be better, and I always think that there's things that we can improve. So I look at it from that perspective, Bubba, of, somebody might say we're the best or we're good and this, that. I look at it as, all right, what can we do better? What can we improve upon? How can we get better? And it's fun. It's fun doing a show with him because he obviously is able to talk football at an elite level, and he challenges me to be better, which I really like. And I know there are things that he knows better than I do, and that bothers me. So I want to try to be better than him at those things. So it's an ongoing battle, but it's fun. It's just competitive enough, It's just a little bit competitive between the two of us where it keeps us just wanting to be better and try to improve ourselves, and that makes for some cool radio sometimes.
Well, you got the Auburn, Alabama thing going. That's enough. But for those that don't know you, let's back up just a little bit. You played high school football at Homewood, correct?
I did, yes, sir. Played at Homewood High School. Yep, Birmingham, Alabama. Played for Bob Newton, an Alabama high school legend, like a second father figure to me, honestly, growing up. Grew up in Homewood, and I live back there now with my wife and kids. So it's been pretty cool to kind of come full circle. I was never that guy growing up that said, "Oh, I'll be back here one day and I'll live in my hometown." That was never really me. But it is cool to be back here now and to be around some of the folks I grew up with and see some of the people that I grew up around. It's been a lot of fun.
So then you went to Auburn and played football. Tell us a little bit about that. Were you recruited by other schools, and how did you end up at Auburn?
I was recruited by other schools. I liked Tennessee. I liked Florida. I liked a couple of other SEC schools. Alabama and Auburn were both going to be in it. I grew up and I was a kind of a hybrid South Carolina fan. Both of my parents attended South Carolina. My aunt is in the Clemson Hall of Fame. She played basketball at Clemson. So I really grew up a lot more around that rivalry than I did Auburn and Alabama. But I always had friends that were Auburn fans. I had friends that were Alabama fans, so on and so forth, and just knew the rivalry well, knew what it was about. I mean, how could I live in Birmingham, grow up a fan of college football, and not know what it was all about? So I had a pretty good idea that either one of those schools would be pretty awesome. I grew up, honestly, Bubba, an SEC football fan. That was my lifetime goal. My goal was to play SEC football. That's what I wanted to do. And I had offers from a couple of others. I had a torn ACL. I tore it in 9th grade, and I could not have it repaired because my growth plates weren't closed. And ended up not having that surgery until my senior year of high school. I suffered what you call a pivot shift, where you don't really have enough support for the knee. And I played in 2 games, did not play a full game my senior year. Thankfully, Auburn stuck with me. Terry Bowden offered me a scholarship. I'll always be indebted to him for that. And that's kind of how I ended up at Auburn. A lot of the decision was made for me, to be honest with you, because a lot of the other schools that I was interested in were just dropping out and didn't want to take a chance on me.
Cole, did you have a chance to go on and play past college, or what was your plan when you were done at Auburn?
Yeah, I think your plan is always to go to the NFL. Every kid will tell you that's their plan.
Right.
It wasn't a reality for me. I was pretty beat up. I had multiple surgeries while I was at Auburn, and really, as I just stated before I got to Auburn, so that was going to make that difficult. I worked out, went through pro day, talked to scouts, had an agent, and when I wasn't drafted, instead of going through camp and trying to kind of grind my way through that direction, I just decided my body had enough, and I just kind of shut it down from there. I figured physically I probably needed to try to conserve a little bit because I was already beat up, and I didn't want to make that worse. Now, I don't know how much that's helped today because I feel pretty beat up every day, but I can't imagine what I would feel like waking up every day if I had played, 5-7 years of pro football.
So what was your plan out of college?
Well, I had multiple, I don't know if you'd call it a plan. I had multiple things I wanted to do. I always dreamed of going in media. I listened to you guys when I was in high school. I listened to JOX when I was in high school. I listened to Feinbaum in high school. I mean, I wanted to do sports radio. The difference was when I got out of school, there weren't many opportunities like that available. There weren't many places to go. You didn't have all these dedicated school websites and conference school websites. You didn't have all the different ways in which you could be involved. So it was either you were on the local news on TV, you were on one of the 2 or 3 networks that aired college football, or you were on one of the 1 or 2 local sports talk radio stations. That was about it. So my aunt was in pharmaceutical sales. I was being broke when I got out of college. She helped me find a way to interview for a couple of jobs that were opening up. I ended up getting one of those jobs, and I was driving down South Memorial Parkway in Huntsville, Alabama, and in I think it was a 2001 Pontiac Grand Prix. That was my company car. I mean, I was feeling pretty good about myself then. And I stopped into a guy's office that that my father had introduced me to. His name was Steve Shelton.
Yeah.
He owned multiple radio stations in Huntsville, Alabama, and they carried Auburn football. And I told him, I said, hey, you should hire me, and Ben Leard lived in Decatur, Alabama at the time. You should hire us to do an Auburn pre-game show because we know the team better than anybody. We were on the team last year. And he said, man, that sounds like a great idea. And I learned a very valuable radio lesson that day, Bubba. And Steve Shelton looked at me and said, that would be great. You can have it if you can sell it. And I honestly, at the time, I had no idea what he was talking about. I really didn't. Right. I didn't know what he meant. And I probably sat there a little confused. And he said, if you can sell some advertising to sponsor your show, you can have the airtime. And I just remember thinking to myself, man, like it's that easy. And then I realized it wasn't that easy to actually sell the spots. But we did get a little bit sold. I think Ben sold 2 or 3 times what I did. And, we were able to kind of get something going. And it was a 30-minute show, probably about 17 minutes of airtime. And I remember we went and recorded it on like a Thursday night. And I called my mom on the way home and I said, this is what I was born to do. I need to be in front of that microphone. Like, that's my calling. And I got another very important lesson that day, specifically as it pertains to media, because I see a lot of kids this day and age not really understanding this part of it. She said, that's great. I'm really happy for you. Don't quit your day job. And I needed to hear that because I probably would have that day, and I needed that day job to carry me through a long period of time that it would take for me to actually land a full-time job in sports media, of which then I still really couldn't keep it going. There was a time I had to quit and kind of start over, and I went and tried to sell boxes. I went and tried to sell insurance. I went and tried to do some different things. I didn't like any of them, but the sports media thing just wasn't paying the bills. And I got married and was a little bit embarrassed of what I was making, specifically compared to what my wife was making. And so I did find my way back in, simply. Got another shot at the Yump in Huntsville doing sports talk radio in the mornings, and then was able to just kind of network my way into a couple of other deals, and here we are today.
Well, Cole, you've always been one of those guys that you didn't take no for an answer. And, I preach that to these young guys today. You are the person that decides when you quit playing. You're the person that decides when you don't want to do a certain job anymore. Of course, there's factors, that drive that. But I remember us having you and Ben on the air, and I think we had you on the air even before that by yourself. And I knew then you were going to be in sports radio. You were a natural.
Well, I appreciate that. And I had a couple reps, and I had some people have me on their shows and ask me to do different things. It's funny. I've heard a couple of my old clips, and when I hear myself back then, I don't know how I made it and how anybody gave me a shot. But it was fun. It still is fun. That's the cool part about it is I tell people I haven't worked in like 10 years. Now, it's a lot of work to do what I do, but I haven't really gone to work like normal people would reference going to work.
You love it. Yeah, you love it.
Sitting in a cubicle, no doubt. And I love the process of it. I love the work that it takes to go into it. And it is. It's fun. And it's cool. And I'm honored to do it every day because I do consider it an honor to be able to do it. But it was a long, windy road to be able to get here. And I'll never try to let people understand it a different way. It took me a long time to get to where I am. And I don't sit here and say that. I don't sit here and say, oh, I've made it or I'm where I want to be. I still feel like I got a long way to go. But it's a cool journey. And like I said, it's not like I show up and go to a job every day. It does not feel like work.
Cole, how did you make the jump from radio over to ESPN? That's a big jump.
It was, and it wasn't like that. That wasn't really the jump. I had John Cole was running the Auburn network, and we started doing our pregame show down there the next 2 years. And he heard me on the air one day, and he said, "Hey, the guy who's doing color for radio or is leaving, and so the guy doing the CSS broadcasts is coming over to radio. Would you be interested in trying to take some of that over?" I was like, "Of course. Like, give TV a shot. Sure thing. Like, let's go." And that was Stan White that was going from CSS to radio, which people hear CSS these days.
Right.
Same thing as with when I tell them I did pay-per-view games for college football games as well. Nobody really knows what that means.
Right.
But I did do that for a while. And so I did the spring game with Andy Burcham. They liked it. They said, "Hey, do you want to come back and do the season?" It actually ended up working out extremely well. That was a year going into that was the 2014. And so, we worked a lot of games. It was dependent on who had the game of whether or not we would be able to call it and work it. But we worked a lot of games that year, which ended up being really cool. And I did that for 2 or 3 years, and the inventory started to dwindle because ESPN was basically gobbling it all back up. and we could not do ESPN replays. We could do CBS and Jefferson Pilot replays. There's another one that people won't know what that is because we don't have Jefferson Pilot Sports anymore. But when I was doing that, there was a guy at CSS that heard me, and he said, "Hey, would you like to come over and, do a couple Sunbelt games?" He goes, I have a full season Sunbelt package I could give you, and you could do that. And I thought to myself, I kind of looked at it like, hey, this is just like football. I need to get reps at this to be good. If I want to do this full time, then I need reps. I need to be able to go and do it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a full slate of Sunbelt games over 2 or 3 Auburn games, one or 2 pay-per-view, right. And that's going to better me down the road to potentially be able to do this full time.
Well, you certainly made the most of it, Cole, and you've done a great job. You do a great job on TV. How do you balance all that now with the ESPN schedule and doing the radio show? And I mean, I knew when I asked that you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I just kind of wake up and go, and whatever I have that day, I figure out how to get it done. Not easy. Thankfully, I have a wife that is beyond supportive, and without her, I couldn't do this, to be honest with you. I don't even understand how she manages what she does at home, much less me when I'm home as well, to just put even more on that. But it's one of those things where I understand that opportunities are going to be limited, and if I don't take advantage of things pop up, then that opportunity may not show up again. So I'm not going to turn much down, and she knows that, and she knows that that's a lot of the reason why I've been able to get here is because I don't turn a lot of things down. I'm willing to work. I want to work. I want to go try new things. I want to do new things, and it's opened a lot of doors for me. So it's just one of those things where you got to have a little bit of a balancing act. You got to have a little bit of understanding that you're probably going to miss a few things. You're not going to be able to be there for every single thing, and that's not fun. But at the same time, it's one of the main reasons I've gotten where I am today. And so it's just, hey, let's go out there and try to do what we can to better our opportunities and continue to climb the ladder. And you better have a good support system behind you if you're going to do that. That's all I'll say. Because if you don't have somebody like her, it's going to be tough for you to find your way.
Cole, I think one of the games I remember seeing you do that I really got to laughing because it looked like you were having a good time. Was it the Pop-Tart Bowl you did last year or a couple of years ago?
Yes, sir.
How about that? That is a fun bowl game to watch, isn't it?
It is. They do. Those guys that put that together, they get it. They understand it. They really buy in to kind of what that game is, and it makes it really cool. They want you to have fun. They want you to enjoy it. They want people to have fun watching it. So it's not that other people at other bowls aren't that way, but I mean, when you got live Pop-Tart mascots walking around acting a fool, it helps you be a little bit foolish at the same time. So it's a cool game to work. I had a blast doing it.
Cole, when you're out of town doing a football game or Greg's out of town, how do you do the radio show? Does it just one guy tote the load, or does the other guy call in? How do you guys balance that?
Yeah, we do it. We can do it from different places. COVID kind of taught us all that and really gave us the capabilities to be able to do it from just about anywhere. So we have remote setups that I travel with a microphone, and we plug into the internet, and we can log into the station, and we go. And it's amazing to think about pre-COVID, none of that was even thought about. Like, nobody would even have considered trying to do a radio show that way. Now it's pretty normal. And you're able to just do it from home, or you're able to do it from our hotel rooms on the road, and we make it work. Now, there's a little bit of a sacrifice. I'm not going to try to pretend like there's not.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
It doesn't sound as good. The quality's not always going to be exactly what it would be if you were in studio. And as you know, that nonverbal communication is also massive, to be able to look to your left or right, and that guy's sitting there, and you know what he's thinking or what he wants to say, and you give him a chance to kind of chime in. But I think it's cool sometimes, too, for us to sit there and say, hey, I'm in Tuscaloosa, Greg's in State College, Pennsylvania. We're going to be talking about the game. Greg's calling that game. I'm calling this game. I think it offers us something that not a lot of other people can compete with. and gives people a little bit of a feel like, hey, man, these dudes are on the road for the game. We feel like we're with them. Like they're there, they're living it, they're seeing it, they're breathing it. Like it gives us a little bit of an advantage at the same time, I feel like.
Yeah, instead of a disadvantage, I look at it as a positive because you're there on the scene. I mean, it gives you a feel that you're, on top of the story, and you can bring that experience back to the listeners. Cole, tell me a little bit about getting up early. How are you dealing with that? Everybody can't do that.
Yeah, not well. But I'll say this, I did a show our station was in Decatur, Alabama, and we lived about 28 minutes away. I think I had it down to 28 minutes. And so that was a 6 to 10 show. And I did a little bit of 6 to 10 when we still lived in Huntsville, which was about a 40-minute drive. So, I mean, I've had it worse, I'll say that. I've had it a lot worse, Bubba, than I live about 5 minutes from our studio right now, so that is a big assistance, and that helps a ton. But I can remember talking to you guys about this when you were at some get-together up there in Huntsville a long time ago, and I think both of you told me, like, listen, your body never truly acclimates to getting up that early. Like, you never get used to it. It's never going to be normal. So just figure out how to make it work and then go from there. And that's kind of what I've had to do. Yeah,
choose your form of caffeine carefully. So
there you go.
You were speaking of Ben Laird a minute ago. I see him every year. We have a common friend that has a cookout at one of the holidays, and I see Ben there every year, and we always relive our glory days,
Oh, yeah. Well, he's definitely one to relive them with. He loves to tell the stories of the good old times. And so if there's free food involved, he's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. So. He is a great guy. He really is. So, Cole, let me ask you this, and I'll let you go, because you do have such a close tie to the Auburn Tigers. What is going on down there? What has happened? How do you feel about the coaching change? I mean, can Auburn win 7 or 8 games again, or are we going to be perennial sitting at home during bowl season?
No, I think they can. I think they can win some games, and I think the main reason that I would say that or believe that is you look at sort of how Indiana was built with bringing in players that you had around you that had been there with you before, that knew your system, that knew your expectation, that knew how you were going to coach, when you were going to coach hard, what your language was. All those things are important, and it takes a long time for guys to understand those things. Well, you're going to be ahead of the curve on that. And Alex Golesh has guys coming in that already understand that. They already get that. There's not going to be a lot of questions. There's not going to be a lot of wondering, what is he really thinking? What's he really like? What's he really saying? They all know. And I think that gives him a really nice starting point. And I think Byron Brown's a really talented quarterback. And, that position goes a lot further than almost any other. So I think there are some things that he has in place that could really help them be successful early. Now, we're not talking about, making a run in the college football playoff or anything like that. But if you're just talking about finding a way to win, as you stated, 6-8 games, something along those lines, 7, 9 games possibly, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. You got a great coordinator that you already had there in DJ Durkin. Now you got a guy on the offensive side of the ball that knows how to call plays, knows how to draw a system up, knows what the expectation is from his players, and he's got some guys around him that have done it. They've been there with him. So I think he does have some advantages that could allow him to maybe surprise some people this year.
Do you think Auburn has been I don't know the right way to say this, but other than they just haven't had great linemen the last few years, 5, 6, maybe even 10 years. They, especially on the offensive side, had some really talented backs, but, I don't care how good you are. You can be Bo Jackson. If you got 2 people hanging on you in the backfield, you're not going very far.
No, and that's been a big problem. I thought it was going to take a big step last year. It kind of didn't. I thought that was going to be a position that was very different for that football team last year, and it wasn't. But I do think they have now the resources and ability to go get some of those guys. And again, you bring in the center that played for you there at South Florida. I think he's a pretty good player. It's got to be a focal point for Golesh as well, because I know when he watches that film from last year, he can't be satisfied with what he sees. There's no way he watches that tape and says, oh, yeah, we're going to be able to ride with these guys and go win 9-10 games. That's just, there's no reality to that whatsoever.
Cole Cubelic from ESPN, JOX 94.5 in Birmingham. Cole, thank you so much. I know you have a very busy schedule. Thank you for wedging out a little time for us. We'd love to have you on again to discuss some things when we get a little closer to football. But thank you for your time so much, and always a pleasure.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, appreciate doing it. And anytime you need me, Bubba, you just let me know.
Cole, thank you so much. Cole Cubelic, ESPN, JOX 94.5, and we'll be back in just a minute with Bubba on the Lake.
You're listening to Bubba. Whoa. Bubba on the Lake.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Spend your mornings with breakfast at Fanny's. Afternoons, you can explore over 100 miles of trails through Russell Forest. And for dinner, how about the Southern farm-to-table flavors at Springhouse? Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At Central State Bank, we believe community banking is more than just transactions. It's about relationships. For over 100 years, we've been helping neighbors grow, businesses thrive, and dreams become reality. Because when you bank local, you invest in your community. Central State Bank, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Visit us today or learn more at centralstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
We're here at the Orlando Ham Fest, or better known as Hamcation. Robbie Spur, one of the partners in Gigaparts. Robbie, how's the Ham Fest been for you so far?
Oh, fabulous. I just love seeing everybody's smiling faces.
Well, y'all got quite a setup here. I mean, you have one of the bigger displays here, so y'all are a regular here every year.
Yeah, we've been coming here for at least 7-8 years, and it's always a good show for us. We love the weather, so it's good to get a break from the winter weather.
Yeah, after you've had 11, 18, I guess y'all had single digits in Huntsville. It's nice to have 80 and sunny for a change, isn't it?
I'll take it any day.
It almost feels too hot, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. No, it's good.
It's a little chilly in the morning, but boy, I tell you, by the time the sun comes up, it's great. Well, what kind of crowds are we talking about here? And business-wise, is this a good trip for you guys?
Oh, it's good. It's probably 20,000 people, if I had to guess, and over the course of the weekend. It's a good opportunity for us to get in front of our customers. A lot of them are buying from us online throughout the year, and so this is our opportunity to see them face to face, shake their hands, and do whatever we can to please them. We don't bring the whole store. We only have probably 60, 70 linear feet of show space here to present some of our wares. But we bring a good selection, and today we got mystery boxes that people always love. So that's a crowd pleaser.
So you guys cater to a lot of things. I mean, you have computers, you have games. The ham business is a small part of your overall business, but that's really kind of the focus here today, I guess.
Oh yeah, today is about ham radio, but we did bring some lasers. So we've had a lot of customers come up to us and say, hey, why didn't you bring 3D printers? People say, hey, what about that gaming laptop I wanted to buy from you? We can't bring everything, but we try to bring a good assortment. But the laser is part of kind of the maker community, and it's interesting how much crossover there is with all of our customers and the different things that we sell. All of our customers have computers. Many of them are into photography. A lot of them are into 3D printing and other maker stuff. So, we look at it as a way for us to spark an interest in a customer who is a thinker, like you. You're a thinker. You don't just do ham radio.
Right.
You like drones. You like tech.
Yeah, Betty's listening. Thanks, Robbie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to keep that on the lowdown, wasn't I?
So, but I think you made a good point. I know a lot of business is done online now. I mean, not everybody's lucky enough to live in Huntsville next to Gigaparts, like I would. I wish I had an apartment on the back wall so I could just walk out. But you do a lot of business, and this does give you a chance to get out and meet and greet and see some of those folks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's why we come to the shows. This is not an economical way for us to grow our business. Right. It is a way for us to get in front of our customers, for them to see us face to face, because a big part of our business is e-commerce, and these guys come from all over the country to this show, and so it's a great way for us to see our customer base on a regular basis, to get feedback from them on the things that they're interested in, to help us find the product that we're going to carry next year.
So how long have you guys been open now?
I think we're headed into our 28th year next month.
And you may remember when you and Patrick started this, y'all asked me about it, and I told you there was no way it would make a go. So, people ask me for advice all the time, and I said, don't listen to me, okay? Just go get it done like Gigaparts did.
I hear you. I mean, I probably should have taken your advice.
Well, it's tough. Any business is tough, but we're glad that you're here. We're glad how you serve the community. When did you get into ham? How long have you been a ham? And for folks listening to this that are not hams, what would you tell them about our hobby?
I got into ham radio. I got licensed a few years before we opened the store, back in the 90s. But my first interest in it, my introduction to it, was my 5th grade math teacher. She brought in a handheld radio and made a phone call from it. And that just blew me away.
Auto patch before cell phones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it took me many years after that to actually get into the hobby. But that's what sparked the interest for me. I'm not terribly active in ham radio anymore, but there's a lot of things that spark my interest. Mesh-tastic is kind of the thing that is interesting to me now, and you don't actually have to be a ham.
Have you met Mark Snow yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know Mark. Yeah. He's all about that.
There are tons of people that are all about it now, and the neat thing about Mesh-tastic is you can do a lot with a ham radio license, but you don't have to have a ham radio license to get into it. So it's a great way to be able to communicate off the grid, to be prepared in case cell phones stop working. You want to be able to communicate with your loved ones and coordinate, hey, let's meet up here. So there's a lot of really interesting things going on that get their start in ham radio, and you can anything that you have wireless, you can thank a ham for, because that's where the technology started.
Oh yeah, well, the packet radio led to the Wi-Fi we have now, and a lot of other things. You have to have people get out and experiment and build on these things, and then they become commercially viable.
Yeah, exactly.
So Robbie, you're a pilot too, right?
Yeah.
Or is that Patrick?
Oh, we're both pilots.
And then you're also probably my leading authority on any kind of battery car.
Teslas?
Yes, you've had several. You had one of the first ones I ever saw.
Yeah, we had fun in that car, didn't we?
Yes. When you made it come pick us up at the restaurant, and it just came and got us, I thought, oh my gosh, I've reached Buck Rogers now.
Yeah, that was like another world. That was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
though. I mean, and it's even better now. Why don't you have one yet?
Well, I'm going to talk to Betty about that. We're working on that.
I think that they are deer-proof now. I think they'll probably swerve and stop, better than you can.
It would be interesting to see if the auto driving would have prevented that wreck,
I think if you gave it a fair test, it would probably have a better chance of survival than your reaction time.
Well, that, or I'm going to put one of these cow scoopers, that the trains used to have on the front of them on all my vehicles, just to knock them out of the way.
I think your truck could probably support that.
I think it would too. Robbie, thanks. I know you're busy. Thanks for taking time to talk to us. Hopefully you'll have another 28 years. We appreciate you guys and what you've done for electronics as a whole, and especially the ham community.
Thank you, Bubba.
Where's Bubba?
I'll tell you where. He's on the lake.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. If you love the outdoors, then Naturalist Marianne's classroom is where you need to be. She brings the outdoors to you at Russell Crossroads. Or you can see Lake Martin and thousands of acres of undisturbed forest taking a guided horseback trail ride through the stables. If you're here for a weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
Another staff meeting, another push for cross-selling, another awkward silence. Then Banker Bounty happened. The first referral platform made just for banks. One app that empowers every employee, not just your top producers, to bring in business. No more spreadsheets, no more silos, just clarity, culture, and actual growth in real time. Banker Bounty fixes more than your referral program. It fixes your momentum. Go to bankerbounty.com, watch the video, book your free demo. Banker Bounty, create, manage, and track referrals in real time.
Illuminate your night fishing adventures with the ultimate in submersible fishing light technology. The Green Monster Fishing Light attracts bait fish and game fish in all water environments. Turn any dock into a vibrant feeding frenzy. Compact, tough, and energy efficient. The Green Monster Fishing Light will provide endless hours of family entertainment and enhanced nighttime visibility for safe docking. No dock, no problem. With our 24-inch portable Green Monster Fishing Light, start landing trophy fish tonight. Visit thegreenmonsterfishinglight.com.
Well, folks, we've finally been able to book a little time with her. She's very busy. She's moving. She's shaking. She's playing pickleball, tennis, taking care of the dogs, the house, me, the lovely Betty Lou. Betty, how are you, hon?
I'm doing great this morning. How are you?
Well, I am great. I'm great. We've had a great trip to Orlando. We've talked a little bit about that on the podcast. I did need you a few minutes ago. I don't think you heard me hollering for you because I got hung up trying to say aphylactic.
Anaphylactic?
Anaphylactic. That's why I didn't want to say it right.
Say it. Yeah.
Anaphylactic.
Alpha-phylactic. That is crazy. Alpha-phylactic.
You know
I think
what?
You've made up a new term.
I was tying that into alpha-gal, the protein from the ticks that causes the violent reaction.
Yeah.
You know, the long star tick.
Who's got alpha-gal? Whatever.
Well, you didn't hear the interview or the comments, but I met a lady at lunch, and she said, you saved my husband's life because he had a reaction, went to the emergency room, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And she remembered that he'd been to Kentucky and had a tick on him. And she said, I just started screaming, alpha-gal, check him for alpha-gal. And she'd heard it on the podcast we did years ago with Richard Chin.
Well, there you go. So maybe you should have Richard on again and remind everybody.
Anaphylactic. God, that's why I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
Bless
your heart.
I was saying alpha-phylactic or something. I bet you wouldn't believe. I got hung up, and I didn't edit it out because I don't.
Sure.
We don't do that here.
Yeah,
because
why would
it's really funnier. When me, and I just kept trying to say it. It couldn't say it. Anaphylactic.
Anaphylactic.
That's why
anaphylaxis or anaphylactic shock, or
you got to say Anna at the beginning of it. Anaphylactic.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I was hung up. I mean, Betty, you couldn't have got me out of that with a tow truck. You know what I mean? It was horrible.
Oh, my.
All right, quick updates. I've got some complaint emails. We didn't get your chicken noodle soup on Betty's Corner.
I've got to type that up, actually. Yeah. I don't know how to put it on Betty's Corner. And
give it to me and Logan.
Yeah.
Logan about to run. We'll take care of it.
Yeah. All right. I'll
he's
type
the
it up
man.
when I get back today.
Okay.
And,
where are you going today?
Well, it's some more lab work for the pup, and then I'm playing pickleball, of course, for a little while.
I can't believe you're playing pickleball today.
Coming home and doing laundry, and that exciting thing.
Listen, I mentioned how well you take care of this household. You really do. We joke about your pickleball and tennis time, and you actually went out and played tennis the other day.
I did, yeah, for the first time in gosh knows how long. I don't even know, probably 7 years. I think the last time I played was just at a clinic here. With the great Wes Coleman.
Yep.
And that's been a long time ago, that cardio tennis stuff.
So
and it was ugly that day.
How was it being back on the court?
The first few whacks at it was not good at all.
Because you've been playing pickleball.
Yeah, that racket is so much heavier than that pickleball racket and longer. And that
that
tennis
thing's
court,
probably 17 grams,
Well, I don't know. It just felt so heavy. And then the tennis court is like a football field compared to the pickleball court.
Right.
So anyway, but I can still, do all right. I was kind of warming up and the rust was falling off by the time we played 3 sets.
Well, I think you have done very well athletically, considering you were never an athlete in high school. You were a cheerleader.
I know.
Which takes athletic ability, but you didn't play sports. You didn't, hit balls and run and shoot hoops and stuff. And but once you took up tennis, you got very good because you're fast. You got great speed.
Well,
you're still not big as a minute.
Oh yeah, sure. That works in my favor now for sure. As I'm getting older, that I still have some wheels on me, so to speak. But
I could comment there. You got wheels, girl. You do. You got a lot of wheels.
It's funny you bring that up about not being athletic, though. I was at a funeral at a very good friend it's been a month or 2 ago now. And one of the guys I went to high school with, and actually knew him since I was 2nd grade, I guess. We grew up together. He was kind of sitting in the back, and that's one of the first things he said, "Do you really play tennis?" He goes, "I can't believe I tried to get you to play anything with a ball ever since 2nd grade. You know what I mean?" And he's the one that I hit in the head accidentally because he kept saying, "Hit it right here," and pointing to his ear, kind of. And so this was
Go
softball.
ahead and say his name.
No, it's funny. But anyway, I hit him.
I kind of want people to ask him about it.
So I hit him. He kept saying, "Hit it right here, hit it right here." So when I did actually make contact with the bat to the ball, the softball, I hit him right there. And I mean, it was hilarious. I'll never forget. And bless his heart, he wasn't hurt or anything. He was laughing. But anyway, he still remembers that to this day. And it's been, 3rd grade? And you know how old I am. Anyway, I won't say. It's only been 10 years ago. No, I'm kidding. Oh, Lord.
Well, it affected him. Now he serves as a minister.
That's right. Yeah.
He's
so
a man
I
of the
guess
cloth.
I knocked some sense into
He's
him.
He's a man of the cloth today because you bet he hit him with a softball.
Oh, me. So anyway.
She spared your name, Michael.
It was always good to catch up, though. We've got to have some kind of reunion at some point. I don't know when we'll do it or who's going to plan it, but we're going to have a reunion. It's fun running into these old classmates.
Yeah, I always, I know a lot of times people kind of look down on reunions like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Or maybe it brings up bad memories for them if they had, bad experiences. But I've always enjoyed ours. We've had fun. The last one we went to, we had a ball.
Yeah, I've enjoyed your reunions because I usually go with you because I know a lot of the people that went to school with you too.
I mean, we were out there dancing, having a good time.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. The old Raiders may have a reunion yet. May have to combine a few classes. I don't know.
I think I missed your last reunion.
You did. I
had
think.
to go
And
somewhere
that was
with work.
years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had one.
Well, let me
since
tell you.
like 10, 15 years maybe.
Let me
is the
tell you.
last one
I
we
ain't
had.
missing this one. Okay, I ain't missing this
If we
one.
have one, yeah.
Well,
So
why don't you just get it up?
Anybody out there want to help? Just let me know.
So, what high school? What class?
Oh, it was Pleasant Valley High School, class of '85. Yeah,
we
were the very first
class
graduating class. Yeah,
for that school.
Yeah.
That was. How
about that?
All of you would have gone to Jacksonville, where I went.
Mm-hmm.
But all the feeder schools had their own school, and
yeah, that was a unique experience. Always being the oldest class, So anyway, it was fun. It was a fun group. Fond memories.
So, are you telling people to get in touch with you for the reunion planning?
I'm just saying, y'all get it in gear. The ones that live close still live there.
The homies
and let
ought
me
to
know
take
if I
care
can
of it,
help.
right? Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Y'all get your wheels on and get it in gear. Oh, man.
All right, so we're running Betty's update list. You have that. We need to have a class reunion, Pleasant Valley. The other one is everybody wants to know how Ruby's doing. Now she has been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease,
right?
Which and I'm going to take liberty here since I couldn't say anaphylactic earlier, and say for lack of a better way to explain it, her white blood cells are eating her red
blood cells are. Her body is destroying her own red blood cells.
That's what I'm saying. The white blood cells are eating the red blood cells. It's basically doggy leukemia. Right?
But she's doing much better. Yeah. I don't know that that's exactly right, what you were saying. So I'm going to move on. I
know the white blood cell count was elevated and
it was.
And the red ones were going down.
It was, but I don't know that that's the way they put it. They just said her own body's attacking her red blood cells. So apparently,
okay, I'm struggling with medicine today, human and dog. Okay,
her body is now making red blood cells, healthy red blood cells.
She had to get a transfusion.
She did. I know, but anyway, she's doing so much better though. She really is. We got to go get some lab work today, and I hope that this is the last time.
And
for a long time.
We're animal people. Betty is the closest thing to Ellie Mae Clampett I've ever seen. And
well, I did have a pet rabbit at one time too.
Give him your line.
Can you? Can we keep them, Paul?
I love that.
I had Stan. I had a rabbit named Stan that I found, and I kept it inside and fed it and all that for a long time, and then it tried to bite me, and I had to let it go. I thought, well, it's strong enough to be outside now.
Betty,
so,
you
sure
basically kidnapped it and put it in prison.
No,
it was living outside.
Well, it was little, and its mother wasn't around. I never saw a mom. You know what I mean? So I watched it for a few days, and so anyway.
How long did you keep it inside?
Not long. It got stronger very quick once it started eating. I don't remember. That's what I was just thinking.
Why do I always think rabbits like carrots?
I can't remember. I want to say I've tried to give it a bottle or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think Bugs Bunny made us all think rabbits eat carrots.
Like carrots, yeah.
But
I probably do. I don't really.
I see a lot of rabbits and I don't see a lot of carrot patches.
Might have ate cat food. I don't know because we always had cats. Of course, they were all named Smokey and they were all solid black.
Right.
So
that's
we just
standard.
had, Smokey of the 70s, Smokey of the 80s, Smokey of the 90s.
Right. You just had Smokey.
Yes.
But anyway. Ruby, and I know what the guys are thinking. What just set you back? Okay, I know that's what y'all. Because if I was listening to this, I would think immediately, what does that cost?
Let's just say we could go on a fairly nice vacation for the price.
Are you fanning? Are you hot over there, babe?
Yes, it's hot in here to me. Is it not hot to you? I mean,
Betty, it sounds like a helicopter's landing
sorry,
when
guys.
you're doing that.
It's very hot in here. He does not have the fan on, and he's got all this equipment in here. Sorry. And I'm over 50, way over 50.
You're too much. You are too much, girl. So we have spent quite a bit on Ruby. And
but she was worth it.
We have a little bit more to spend. But there is we've talked about it. There's a point where you go, we can't continue this. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to let nature take its course.
Right.
And we'll pray it up and let it go. But we've prayed for our dog and she's better. So I count that as an answered prayer.
I do too. And she is going to have to stay on a medication called cyclosporin for a little bit that treats all this. And probably she's been on prednisone, but she's going to have to taper off of it from what I understand. So that's kind of what we're doing today is seeing where she's at on her lab work and then hopefully beginning the tapering process of some of this medication.
Do you ever think that she can understand what you're saying?
I don't know. She's not even paying attention now. She's just like, well, whatever.
She was all excited running around here and you started talking about
I know.
VET, and now she is laying curled up under the table here that we're doing the podcast on.
Please don't take me.
Like she's hiding.
Oh, me.
But
I think it's just a morning nap time.
Yeah, they
probably
do a lot of that. Well, we love our pets. You know, they're a blessing. I consider them
They
a
are.
They're not human. We don't put them on that level, but they are a gift, and I think we should appreciate them and be thankful for that and enjoy them.
Yeah, I do too. Just like all the other gifts that God
Gosh,
gives
are we
us.
not all blessed? I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're blessed beyond belief, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm glad that God is much more patient than I would be with all of us, you know?
Oh, I know. Yep. He loved us even though we weren't worthy.
Yep. Still even today. Well, Betty, I appreciate you taking time. I know you're very busy. We'll try to get that recipe up. Thank you for taking care of the dog. Thank you for taking care of me. And you've been very nice. We really have not talked about the fact that I have an office studio here now on the main floor, and that was all made possible by you.
Yeah, and I'm looking at quite the eyesore. Right past this was probably one of the nicest bathrooms I've ever seen. And you've kind of turned that into a little storage area now. You sold it to me like, oh, I can get up. When I get up early, I'll come in here and use this bathroom to get my shower and get ready.
Right,
I said, okay, that'd be good. Shoot, you can't get to the shower.
You know,
but,
it's
never mind.
It's a failure on my part.
Well, I'm going to get in there and help you clean that out.
I would told you I'd keep it clean.
What can we do?
Well, the problem is...
It looks like it's not much of anything. It looks like a bunch of papers.
Well,
whatever. So
here's the problem. When we moved to the lake, we downsized about 3 to 1.
Oh, I know. Me and you both did.
And you did a tremendous... And I've credited you with this. You did a tremendous job of cleaning out and, you know, working yourself down to a third of what you had. I have not done so good. And it's my fault.
Sorry.
It's my fault. But one of the problems is I feel like I'm never here. You know, I'm always running somewhere.
Well, when you are here and we have a little time, let's get in there and I'll help you go through some of that.
Well, I know what
I'm
it
ready.
is. I don't
I'm
need
ready
help.
to go through it.
I don't need help. I need somewhere to set it.
I need to get in those cabinets. I mistakenly put things in there like that I use, like extra soap.
Well, that's what I thought we should say. Put like when we get extra shampoo, you know, we buy it in bulk. We should put it in those cabinets.
Why? You can't get to them.
Well, I know, but we will eventually. I'll get it cleaned out.
I got my yoga workout trying to stretch to get to something the other day. I needed a basket. We had company coming, and I usually use this basket for like chips or whatever, you know, when you have. And I had to move some stuff that was not pleasant to move and then stretch. And, you know, my legs are about 2.5 feet long. They're not very long. So it's hard to stretch.
Betty, honey, Betty does this thing. You're smoking hot, okay? I can say that.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm partial, but you are.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you think so. You got to see me every day.
Not only do you take care of the house, you've taken care of yourself. Again,
well, somewhat, not really.
In my case, I look like that bathroom. Okay.
Okay, Lord. Anyway, long story short, we got to clean that bathroom out.
I have to keep you laughing. That's my only hope. You know.
Well, you're lucky. I'm an easy target, so I laugh all the time.
Well, Betty, thanks for stopping by. We'll get that recipe up and everything else, and thank you very much for taking care of the pup and taking care of old hubby over here.
Yeah. Did you already talk about your ham radio trip?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I did get one interview on site, and I had some others I wanted to do, but they were so busy selling stuff, it was hard to do. So I've got a phone call in. I don't know if we're going to get them all in for this podcast. I may have to sprinkle them in later, but we'll see what we can do. But thank you for coming by, and good luck on pickleball today.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck to Ruby.
Yes. Good. Get a good report, Robby. We love you. We'll be right back in just a minute. You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Just got that new boat? Let Sunrise Docks protect your investment with Swift Shield boat covers, Neptune boat lifts, and easy ports for your personal watercraft. Plus, they have composite decking that stays cool, designed with your feet in mind. Sunrise Docks is always first in quality, first in service, and first in customer satisfaction. Right off Highway 63, your Lake Martin headquarters, with 2 barges and the most experienced boat lift crew on the lake. Sunrise Docks is your lake life expert. Call 256-392-5200.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Grab a latte at Brew 63, linger over lunch at Fanny's, or take in a Lake Martin sunset at Kalijah Restaurant. Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about. Well, folks, that'll just about do it for this edition of Bubba on the Lake. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank all of my guests who was on the podcast today, Cole Cubelic from ESPN, Robbie Spur from Gigaparts, and many others. Folks, I want to remind you that we are in the Mela Yella studio. We always love those Mela Yellas, and we appreciate them being a sponsor of the show. The website is bubbaonthelake.com. Our email, bubba@bubbaonthelake.com. And, of course, our comment line, 308-BIG-LAKE. 308-BIG-LAKE, or for those of you that just like the numbers, 308-244-5253. Well, it's been a funny show. Not too many hosts will stumble around trying to say aphylactic. But that's what you get here. Remember to follow us, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow all of our social media. All that's so important. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you're excited about spring like we are. And remember, watch those ticks. Be careful of that. And we will be back, and the next time we sail into port, we'll be here with you again. And until then, remember, God loves you, and so do we. Thank you for being part of Bubba on the Lake.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Russell Lands, Coke, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, Sunrise Docks, Banker's Bounty, Dr. Thomas Dudney, and the Green Monster Fishing Light.
B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey, wishing I could listen to the show every day, hey, gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake, in the Mellow Yellow studio, putting on a show, Betty say, what? She always on the go, we got Hunter Bus, sitting at master control, don't wanna miss a moment, cause Bubba's got the flow, B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey, wishing I could listen to the show every day, hey, gotta hear what Bubba and his buddies gotta say on B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey, B-U-double-B-A, hey, B-U-double-B-A, hey, B-U-double-B-A, hey, B-U-double-B-A on the lake, hey.